Reflections. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I'm here with the reflection video as promised for Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios, and everything else that happened yesterday. And we know what that is. We got to talk about it. Let's get to it. First off, people, I'm impressed with Ryan Garcia to a certain degree. I'm very disappointed in Mario Barrios. I am. I thought Mario was better than that, and I don't know what happened to his defense. I don't know how Ryan was able to get that right hand through. Man, it to me it seemed like Mario was, I'm not gonna say carrying Ryan, but it seemed to me like he was gun shy, and I don't understand why. Normally he throws nice straight punches. Normally he throws combinations like he did with Manny Pacquiao, like he did with Yordenis Ugas. Now, is he the best fighter out there? No, because Keith Thurman beat him. Gervonta Tank Davis beat him. And those guys are on another level than Mario Barrios. But Ryan Garcia himself, beating Mario Barrios, yeah, it gets him out the doghouse. It does. Because people were starting to look at Ryan as a straight up, apparent, visible cheat. So that being said, it's like, when Rolly beat him up, which Rolly, to be fair, Rolly knew how Ryan fought. Ryan is he's a stationary fighter that tries to fight in a style that I don't honestly think he needs to fight in. Him fighting in the shoulder roll. King Mike Hall in the building, first one on the chat. Salute. Hit the like button when you guys come in, or leave out. Bearshite Elohim. Solution. Is that solution? Solution is salutation. Salutation, Kurt. Counterpunch to you. Already did. I appreciate it. Is that stairs? Is that stars? Stocks? Pound? Salute? Fook Noose? Evening, Kurt. Evening, fight fans. Counterpunch to you guys. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Hit the like button. Let's hit the tier of YouTube. Let's make YouTube understand, like, oh, get him out. He's on. But I gotta tell you guys, man, Ryan, the way he came out in the first round and he put Mario Barrios down with his right hand, it made me understand something. Ryan got power. Oh, he got power. It's just he doesn't have temperament. And I thought of David Tua. You remember David Tua used to have that left hook? Then to come find out he went with Goosen, found out he can punch with both hands. You know what I mean? And that's really dumb because all this time you've been loading up on left hooks when you could be throwing overhand rights with those left hooks. The true throwing Samoan. Ryan is the same way. Ryan hit Mario Barrios. It's like Mario was scared. What was wrong with Mario? Mario was like, he had his guard up like he was afraid to exchange, which probably that right hand scared him, to be fair. Because when that right hand touched him, yeah, he was, oh yeah. That knockdown looked iffy on the highlights, didn't land crazy even, but dropped him. I don't know, man. I mean, and then another thought came to my mind, people, because it lasted 12 rounds. Ryan, if you put this man down in the first round and you couldn't finish him, where's your finishing abilities? You know what I mean? Where's your follow-up? Bro, that should have been based on Ryan, I want to see your best. I want to see your best. I want you to come in. I want you to come in. You know, like trying to do this fake Muhammad Ali impression, which is very cringe, actually. But you knocked this man down in the first round and you couldn't get him out of there. If he couldn't take your punching power, why didn't you up the ante? Now, I know he didn't probably want to get caught with something because Mario is a big boy, you know, especially at 147. But still, you hurt this guy, you stunned this guy. And why did we watch 12 rounds of the same thing? We watched 12 rounds of the same fight. And it showed you Ryan has no finish in him. We can't talk about Devin Haney because they're both pretty much the same type of fighter. I mean, they, you know, these guys, you know what though? These guys don't have what these fighters used to have. Man, you're enjoying a nice weather. I'm sitting in 30-degree blizzard. Ah, man, it's beautiful, but it's cold. It is cold. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful out here. It really is. That's why I'm like, dude, because I was going to do it inside. I'm like, why do it inside? We can do it outside. But yeah, that knockdown did look iffy. It did look iffy. Ryan, to me, lacked any motivation to finish. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to him? Like, bro, it's nothing in you that occurred. Oh, I knocked this dude down in the first round. He ain't as big as tough as I thought he was. Let me get him out of there. Let me take him out. Oh, no. He don't have out and out power. He has a great snap to his punches. Similar to Tommy Hearns, the punches themselves aren't killer shots. They're clinical and sharp. Okay. The right hand was solid. Never seen him let the right go like that before. They said his left was hurting, so they just used the right, which was smart. But I don't know. Maybe that is a contribution of why he didn't finish Mario, because he should have done that. He should have finished him. I think Ryan beat Shakur. Well, the right hand, he's fast enough. But you know something, guys? I don't think Ryan is good with fighters that's shorter than him. Rolly was shorter than him. Shakur is shorter than him. I don't think that he's, you know, what was that guy he fought? And it took him forever to take him out. He got him out of there. But his shoulder roll was so awkward to the point he, like, Ryan, I don't know. I don't know. I just, maybe I'm comparing him to Oscar De La Hoya. And maybe I shouldn't do that because it just shows you Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, Ike Corte, Felix Trinidad. These guys are nothing like them guys. Look, okay, you get a prime Sugar Shane Mosley, a prime, not the old 50 some odd year Mosley now. I'm talking about a prime Sugar Shane Mosley, and you put him in there with any of these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, all of those guys will beat him. And probably Shakur will probably make it interesting because he's a bit crafty. Other than that one fighter, Sugar Shane wipes out this whole stable of these fighters now. He wipes them all out. He takes them all out. And I don't mean he outpunches them or outworks them. No, he takes them out. He knocks them out. He stops them. Sugar Shane Mosley in his prime would do that to every fighter that I just named. Every one of them. There ain't a fighter, probably except for Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? And he's retired, so whatever, right? But other than that, everybody from 135 to 140, because Sugar Shane fought in all those weight classes. Sugar Shane Mosley, I dare say, was the best lightweight I've ever seen. I think he was better than Julio Cesar Chavez. I think he was better than Roberto Duran. He had everything. He had chin. He had speed. He had power. He had finishing abilities. He had the temperament. He will whoop you like you stole something. If you look at a Sugar Shane Mosley fight, the first fight I ever seen with Sugar Shane Mosley, he fought a guy named Holiday. Can't remember his first name, but it was Holiday. And I never seen speed like that before. You know what I mean? The speed, it looked kind of like Sugar Ray Leonard's speed or Sugar Ray Robertson's speed. And I think he's the last Sugar, and I'm glad they snatched that from Shakur, because I don't think he's, you know, if you're called Sugar, you better have something sweet. Fixed fights, I don't know, man. It was kind of iffy. I think Mario, he might have, man, because I just don't see Ryan doing that in the first round, and the fight looked carried to me. It looked like a carried fight. You know what I mean? And Barrios, I seen him fight better than that. I seen what he did to Eudenis Ugas. And you guys know how I feel about Cuban fighters. But Eudenis Ugas, I think Eudenis got in that ring and got old overnight and found out, okay, things are different now. It happens. It happens. You fight after 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 fight, and then you defect, come to America, then fight after fight after fight. At least you're getting paid. And then you realize one day you're not as fast, you're not as quick, you know, you're not as springy, you're not as sharp, you don't have the explosiveness, you know, once quick release is now like fatigue, delayed, you know. Mario lost to too many people, in my opinion. I mean, I just don't see why he did, like, because there was nothing special about Ryan. There's nothing when Rolly beat him, and I think Rolly beat him based on there was no protection for Ryan. Because everybody just thought Ryan was good enough to beat Rolly. And since there was nothing put in place, nothing in the under the table contract. I ain't talking about the contract you signed. The under the table one, like, look, you know what I mean, Rolly. Nobody came to Rolly and said, you know what, Rolly? 8 rounds, you're gonna feel a sting. 8 rounds, in the middle of the 8th round, you're gonna feel a sting, and you're going to go down. Nobody said that to Rolly because Rolly he didn't, you know, nobody was worried about Rolly. Rolly wasn't on the radar of concern. That's why Rolly beat Ryan, because nothing was in place. Now, this is on some kind of conspiracy type, you know what I mean? But like, what if? But I think nobody cared about Rolly. And because nobody cared about Rolly, Rolly beat Ryan because, for one, he sparred Ryan before. He sparred Ryan. He knew exactly what Ryan does. You know, he knows how he clams up after he throws his own punches. He knew that about him. And when you see Ryan, he throws quick shots, but he can't defend and attack at the same time. He's either throwing punches or defending. I think he over-prepared. I understand studying your opponent, but when you overanalyze your opponents, it could affect your self-belief. He was focused on Garcia. Man, Barrios lost to Pac-Man. Ryan was obviously going to whoop him. Even all them 140-pounders would whoop Barrios. Well, think of it like this. You know they're still baiting Manny Pacquiao on. They need Manny Pacquiao. The PBC does. They need Manny Pacquiao to sell. They don't have a superstar. They're trying to make Ryan a superstar. Why do you think that pay-per-view was $75? Why do you think that was so expensive? It was so expensive because what they wanted to do, they want to hype Ryan to be this next superstar. You know, the looks and, you know, the fan base and, you know, the social media following he has, stuff like that. They know that's their best option. Keith Thurman is not active enough, and he's getting older anyway. Who else? Javante Tank Davis can't stay out of trouble. You know, let's just be real. Who else? Terrence Crawford is retired, but, I mean, you know, they didn't like Terrence anyway. They just didn't. Who else? Who else is there down there that they could make a star? Shakur Stevenson, he's okay. He's a good boxer, but, you know. Man, my nose is jacked. It's just jacked, dude. Shakur lacked motivation to finish top. Manny Pacquiao fought Mario Barrios on July 19, 2025 at age 46, and Barrios performed against the much older Pacquiao was widely seen as underwhelming because of that, his fight with Ryan. Eunice Butterball, hello, counterpunch to you. Chet Perry, what up, Kurt? Did Ryan seem juiced? I don't know, but I can tell you this. If that boy comes up with some kind of dirty test, he's finished. He's finished. You guys understand me? Ryan better come squeaky clean. It better not be any contamination, any adverse finding, none of that. Ryan, because he was acting a little bit. Yeah, he was. His temperament was juiced. He came off juiced. He did. Barrios looked fragile. He looked too fragile. He looked gun shy. And I just wonder why. It was very suspicious. It was, people. And I like Mario, but I think Mario, Texas boy like that, he know he's not going to be the following. He's the guy with the belt. They needed a belt. They needed to make Ryan champion. And because of that, that's the guy they needed to go to. So basically, it's a possibility, people. It's possible that Mario sold his belt. He sold his title to Ryan. He sold his title for a fight like that. They made it pay-per-view. They made it a big spectacle. But he sold that. He sold that title. Think about it. Where would boxing be if Mario Barrios would have beat Ryan Garcia? In the lower weight classes, it really wouldn't be much. They needed a star, especially someone that's not a part of Zufa. They need to compete with Zufa because Zufa is growing. Believe it or not, Zufa boxing is growing. It's growing fast. It's going to be more people. Didn't I not say yesterday during my live stream, didn't I say that Andy Ruiz was going to sign to Zufa? Didn't I tell you that? You guys remember that. I said, Ryan Garcia is going to be next. He's going to be next. He's going to sign with Zufa Boxing. And boy, oh boy, was Andy Ruiz. Thank you guys for sending me articles, notifications, Tony Lyons, Jack's Band. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, I knew it. Ryan is garbage. Pacquiao beat Mosley. Of course Pacquiao beat Mosley and Oscar too. Barrios just sell his belt to Garcia. The best lightweight you've seen is Canelo. No. Canelo's not a lightweight. He never was a lightweight. Canelo was a welter and super welter, and then middleweight, then super middleweight, then light heavy. That's Canelo. He was not that. He wasn't a lightweight. And then if he was, I never seen him fought at a lightweight. No, Duran was number one. No, Sugar Shane Mosley would have beat Duran. And I know Duran, he's a legend and all this, bro, but how many people did he beat? Who did he beat besides the Jesus? Who did he beat? We talk about Duran for a minute, but who did Duran beat? Did he beat Leonard? He beat Leonard once. He quit in the second fight. Did he beat Hearn? No, he got knocked out. Did he beat Hagler? No, he got beat. You know what I mean? Nobody fought Aaron Pryor. Purnell would beat Duran, Shane, Floyd, and Pacquiao. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh, dear. I don't know. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. See, here's the thing, people. When you talk about Sugar Shane, when you talk about Pernell Whitaker was bad. But by the late 90s, Pernell Whitaker his prime was done. Pernell Whitaker beat Julio Cesar Chavez. And they robbed him. Well, they didn't rob him, per se. They just didn't give him the victory. They did it. They gave that fight the best possible outcome without robbing you. They gave him a draw. Kurt, why we don't hear your friend Michael, the dude you had interviewed, joining Buffalo Boxing? I don't know. You mean Michael Hunter? Michael Hunter, you know what I think? What's wrong with Mike? Mike is still dealing with Don King. He signed a contract with Don King he's trying to get out of. It happens all the time. It happened to Jarrell Miller with, what's the Jewish guy's name? Salita, right? Was it Salita? No. Yeah. He said, all I know is Pac achieved more than any of them. I wrote Zufa boxing autocorrect change to Buffalo. Yeah, I pretty much know it. I pretty much knew what you meant. Why Michael Hunter not joining? I don't know. Quan Big Guns, counterpunch to you. Salute. Barrios was worried about being countered. Probably, but come on, man. Sometimes you got to let your hands go. Kurt, Ryan needs a belt for the business of boxing until we get fair play. Yeah. You need a title. You need a title, Ryan. I know you're my son. Don't tell anyone. Man, that dude looked like Oscar De La Hoya. He just don't fight like him. Oscar De La Hoya was, bro. Imagine a fantasy fight between Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia at welterweight. Yeah. De La Hoya would destroy Ryan, dude. He would destroy Ryan. He would beat Ryan up. You know, left hook for left hook, right? What's your take on Conor move? I think Conor is entitled to do whatever he wanted to do. Fair play to him. This man made. Hold on, let's find this out real quick. How many dollars is 15 million pounds? I think Conor did it right. There ain't no loyalty in boxing when it comes to money, when it comes to business. What are you gonna, you know, like, I want to stay with Eddie because Eddie did this for me. You know who did that dumb stuff and we all hung him out the dry? Deontay Wilder. So why are we so mad at Conor Benn when Deontay Wilder should have done the same thing? Nobody gave Deontay Wilder respect for staying with Al Heyman. Did they? No. Nobody did. We called him the biggest dummy in the sport because he was the biggest dummy in the sport. So why are we giving Conor Benn a hard time? Why are we giving Conor Benn such a hard time when he took a deal that bettered himself and his family and his banking account? Where we crucified Deontay Wilder for turning that deal down for the zone. Right? Think about it. Any news about Philip Hrgovic? No, I haven't heard about Philip Hrgovic. Philip Hrgovic just had a baby, though, and I respect that. You guys have to remember something. Philip Hrgovic is a dad. He's a daddy Mac. He's a Mac daddy. Usyk will sign with Zufa Boxing, mark my words. Usyk signs with Zufa Boxing, people are going to run over there because they know at that point. Then you already got Jaya Pataya champion. Then if he signs with, if Usyk signs, you got the WBC to worry about, you got the WBA to worry about, and you got the IBF to worry about. And you know that Zufa Boxing is not going to stop any champion from defending his belts. That would be career suicide. That's why I'm not worried about Jaya Pataya and the IBF belt. I'm not worried about that. Why? Because he's not going to join a platform that won't allow him to fight his mandatories. It just does not make sense. Who would do that? You got to be a fool to sign something just for some money. Because see, Conor don't have a belt. Conor's chilling. Conor took it for the money. Skrilla 50 in the building, Chief General. Counterpunch. What is AJ's lifetime deal all about? Yeah, dude, he signed a lifetime contract with Matchroom and DAZN like about 3 years ago. Which was stupid, I think. You never do that. Because you You signed a contract forever. That's like saying, I'm going to work for this place forever. You have no room for advancement except for except for what they give you, right? Except for the mercy of your company. They may give you a bonus, but they may throw him a bone. But I mean, AJ though has so much money that he knew that I'm not going anywhere. My money has been made. I think he gets 100 million a year anyway. People forget about that deal. So he pretty much signed 100 million a year. You can't miss it. 100 million a year. AJ got money, bro. Unfortunately, money is not the problems that he has to deal with. It's the inner demons and life. You know, life happened with AJ. Is Andy Ruiz signing with Zufa? Wrong. Andy Ruiz has signed with Zufa. Ain't about to. He's signed. Him and his daddy, come on, let's go up here. Let's sign this deal, Papa. Estoy listo de escribir aquí en este papel. Estoy aquí. Escribe abajo. Aquí en abajo, escribe aquí, por favor. Tú eres mi jefe. Tú eres el mero mero. Ya. King Mike Hall. Counterpunch to King Mike Hall. Kurt, you should join Zufa commentating skills, bilingual stunt man. Come on, man with boxing knowledge. Yeah, man. I would love to be a part of Zufa boxing. Why not? You know what I mean? They're getting all those heavy hitters. You know, they got Kellerman and Andre Ward. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would love to be a part of that. Do you imagine me in a 3-piece suit sitting there chilling? Huh? Yeah, man. Yeah, that would be dope. You know, you just have to know the peeps. You have to know what it takes. I would love to interview. You know, Showbiz, he can go to the zone and stay over there, and I'll go to Zufa boxing. 100 million a year is set for life. Who cares about boxing? Lost as that point. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, Joshua knew what he was doing. You know, $100 million. You can't take it with you. And he almost lost it all in Nigeria, dealing with somebody that didn't even have license. None of that. Corporate Kellerman sounds like Larry Merchant's grandson. Larry Merchant. And Larry's about 93 years old, bro. Let's see how old Larry Merchant is. How old is Larry Merchant?
Larry Merchant is 95 years old.
95 years old.
He was born on February 11th, 1931.
Crazy.
And is a well-known...
Crazy. Boxing has been good to Larry Merchant. You remember what he said? If I was 50 years old, I would kick you. Kurt, they should bring Sugar Ray Leonard to Zufa boxing. Sugar Ray chilling, man. Sugar Ray Leonard is chilling. Kurt, you could probably do it from your own established channel. Try Zufa. Yeah, it would be dope. That would be cool to reach out to Zufa, man. You know what I mean? I would love something like that because that's pretty much the overall goal, you know, to be on television, you know, calling fights, you know. But this is always going to be. So as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to make videos to you guys because we in everyday life, we learned in the COVID season that wherever you are in the world, you're going to have your phone at some point. And that's how we get the bulk of our information. And probably 95% of our information is coming from our phone, right through these black mirrors, right? So that being said, you know, I'm always going to send videos because I'm always going to be active with you guys if YouTube sends out notifications or not. When you think of your boy, you go to the channel, boom, a video will be there or videos will be there to view. So it is what it is. Luis Ortiz witnessed Larry Merchant's birth. Este de blanco, mira este pelo, mira este pelo de rubio, ¿no? ¿Sí? Mira este rubio. No eres este rubio, este blanquito, hijo. Este hijo blanquito. Until others start making 1 billion a year, then AJ's deal is bad. I know, right? AJ ain't got no bad deal. You know, but AJ is gonna be AJ. I mean, AJ can go. AJ can be in Mansfield. He can go to Walmart. People gonna be around him trying to sign something. Hey, that dude ain't it? That one dude ain't it? Yep. You know. Conor had two choices: stay with Hearn and have to face real champs and get exposed, or go with Dana and hide from the real champs while being allowed some juice. Nah, I don't think he can. Man, if I'm Conor Benn, I'd stay away from anything that starts with a J. I wouldn't deal with nothing. I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that at all. Kurt, show your boxing skills. My boxing skills. I mean, in this type, you know, in this type, you know, this is my stance. You know, jab, double jab, triple jab. You know, it's, you know, I try not to shadow box a lot. And you know what I try to do on purpose? I try to box as though I'm stiff or slow. You know, like if I go to my gym back home where I live, you know, I work on power. Just power. Just power. You know, not necessarily turning and, you know, pivoting and stuff like that, moving. Nah. You don't want to show anyone too much of what you know, because it could help you in a fight one day. And you never know who's going to turn up, you know. Are Zufa cards going to be at the same venue? I don't know, and you know what? I don't care. You know why? All I have to do as of right now, subscribe to Paramount or Paramount Plus. I don't have to pay nothing extra. That's how it's supposed to be. You pay for a prescription or subscription, right? You pay for a subscription and you get what's ever on the subscription of the channel. Nothing extra, just like Netflix. Listen, Netflix could put DAZN out of business. They could. Because DAZN's getting too greedy. And like my boy Jay Roos said, man, it ain't nothing good about greed. It ain't nothing good about greed. Greed is going to have you under. Why do you think Blockbuster Video went out of business? They were too greedy. DAZN is going down that same path. They think that because we got a certain amount of subscribers, they think that we can just treat anybody any kind of way. You can't just mess over people, lie to people, overcharge people. We're going to get sick of that. I'm trying to tell you, you got that Caballero style. Well, I like Caballero. But listen, people are going to get sick of it because what happens with these corporations? They think we're stupid. They think we're going to sit there and keep paying for stuff that either you can get for free or you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, there's no reason to do that. There's no reason to overcharge. That Garcia, do you think Garcia and Barrios was worth $75, bro? Ryan Garcia, I know they're trying to make that man a star. And I think a lot of people think that he's a star, but he's actually a drug cheat, and he's probably a little racist. And I mean not a little racist, I mean he's a little racist. You know? Counterpunch, subscriptions to get prescriptions. You should use that slogan. Yeah. Subscriptions to get prescriptions. You need to subscribe to get the prescribed. Queensberry Cape, the WBO belt inside the house with Dubois fight. Kurt, can you imagine a Jet Caballero going to Zufa boxing? Well, I mean, he has some fighters. Because what's happening? You know what's happening? The building process has begun. It's a building process. It's easy. They're building Zufa. Okay. Up here at the heavyweights, you have, what do we have? Efe Ajagba, Charles Martin, Andy Ruiz. Cruiserweight, we have who? Jaya Pataya. Welterweight, we have Conor Benn, you know, and you're going to have more and more people that are signing with Zufa Boxing. Just keep in mind, people, how many of those fighters that we saw either knock somebody out, right, on that Zufa card, how many of those guys you saw before? You see what I mean? So a lot of these guys didn't even have the platform or the opportunity to be seen, to have the exposure. And since they didn't have the exposure, I mean, they weren't on ESPN. I ain't never seen them dudes before. I ain't seen them dudes on Golden Boy, The Zone. Not everyone gets the exposure until they make a decision to join a particular new platform. So some of those guys, they took it because they wanted to be seen and they wanted to be heard about and learned about. They needed the exposure. Your pay-per-view over there is an effing joke. Absolutely. I wouldn't pay $15 to see Ryan Garcia. I could see Jarrell signing with Zufa. He should, if he's smart. You know, he could fight Efe Ajagba, and I think Efe Ajagba beats Jarrell Miller, honestly. I think he beats Jarrell. Jarrell doesn't have the punch variety. He hasn't proved to me. I don't have faith in Jarrell coming in shape. And I like Jarrell Miller. Don't get me wrong. I like him as a showman, as a comedian, as an entertainer, as a self-promoter, and as a man, honestly. He showed me a lot of things about him. You know what I mean? All them dudes be taking that juice. So a lot of people, he's a drug cheat, Big Pharmacy Miller. Man, how many of them guys have cheated? Ryan cheated. Conor cheated. A lot of them cheated. You know, so I don't throw that to Jarrell Miller. And if I'm Jarrell Miller, 300 pounds, and I see some drunk punk come up to me, why are you cheating? I'd have slapped him too. Wig, Big Baby Miller. And you understand, man, he's doing his hair's growing back, right? I think he should have, he still has that little crown, which is kind of stupid, you know? I see Martin McCauley signing with Zufa. I see Martin McCauley not doing anything, honestly. I think Martin McCauley, man, Andy's signing with him, so he might. I would love to see Andy versus Martin McCauley. Bro, that would be a dope fight. That'd be a good fight, bro. Andy Ruiz versus Martin McCauley. Yeah, he looked like a chia pet. Bakari Jololov should sign with Zufa. I mean, him way over there. He's from Uzbekistan, right? He needs to come over here to the States. We don't know who he is. We don't know anything really about him. We know that this guy went to the pros and then went back to the Olympics, then went back to the pros. Crazy. You know. But then they do hold the Olympics at a higher standard over there, right? Mark McCauley thinks Zufa is a foreign food. Hey, what Zufa, man? Give me Zufa, man. Hey, what Zufa? Zufa. Start dancing. Zufa. Miller's hair is growing back. There is some breaking news. I know, right? McCauley needs to get rid of Nelson long time ago. Now, too late, even if he does. He's another one, bro. You don't know what shape he's gonna come in. You don't know what he's really been doing when he's been up. You don't know what them guys been up to. All I can tell you is Martin McCauley, if he had a nutritionist, if he had someone that made him eat certain things, I think he has an eating disorder. I'm just going to keep it out there. I think four fighters that have eating disorders. One, Zili Zhang. The boy eat too much. Two, Andy Ruiz. You know he eats too much and he's not as tall, so it doesn't look as good. Three, Martin McCauley. You know he eats too much, right? He eats way too much. Okay? And four, Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller can't stop. He can't push that plate away. You may see him on like social media talking about, man, I just eat some rice, man. I'm just eating a little rice. Just eating a little rice. Bruh, you're eating more than that little rice. You lying. You probably had a steak, some pounded yam or whatever he eats, some goat, a burger, a glizzy, corn dog. Yeah, bro, cheeseburgers, that man eats. Those four guys, Zane, Bacali, Andy Ruiz, and Jarrell Miller, they all have eating disorders. I wonder if Miller is fasting right now. It's Ramadan, right? Isn't it about to be Ramadan? Miller ate 5 live goats. That dude's husky anyway. He trains a lot, but bro, no. Miller can't fast. All right, should have made Frank Martin a literal ghost. No, man. But them guys, they're overeaters. They can't stop eating. Something's wrong with them. Because remember, Andy lost weight and he got weak. Andy Ruiz lost that weight and got weak. I can't take the punch. I don't feel right. And I'm about to have some Haagen-Dazs cherry vanilla. Man, nothing wrong with it. I ain't mad at it. Man, ice cream is delicious, bro. Man, I used to eat Viennetta ice cream. It was an ice cream bar like dish, and I think it had vanilla and it had chocolate. It might have had cherry. They still make it, but I can't find it here, not in this state. The last time I had some was in Georgia. I was in Atlanta. No, I think I was probably in Conyers, Georgia. And I love it, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm like that too. I'm only satisfied when I overeat. Kurt, is Frank Sanchez versus Torres IBF final elimination? Yes. Yes, it is. Jack's man Anderson would have PTSD just looking at Martin. Jared, yeah. Jared, man, poor Jared. He took that fight. He took that money. He took that turkey money. Man. Viennetta is an 80s UK classic. Yeah, I think it is British, isn't it? It is, bro. I used to love it, man. When I was 15 years old, no, probably 16 to 17. You know, that's when I used to smoke that Zaza. And you know, of course, when you smoke, you're hungry. Man, I used to eat pizza. I used to have the best time. I was a skinny dude too, so I could eat and nothing happens. I could eat and it's like meat, milk. That stuff would just, my metabolism would just destroy that. Breakdown and pick Torres versus Sanchez. You know I'm rocking with Sanchez. That's my boy. Torres, I don't really. You know what? I haven't really seen him fight. But we're gonna do some fight studies because tomorrow's gonna be a travel day, so I'm probably gonna leave in the morning or maybe tonight. We're going to definitely do some fight studies. You know, for how much can you eat? Man, you know I just had a colonoscopy, right? And you know what's crazy? Everything had to be out of my intestines. And I fasted all of Sunday, a week ago. And I have to tell you, I felt absolutely phenomenal. I felt great. You know, I felt absolutely great. And I'm going to actually start fasting about 2 days a week. And then on those 2 days a week, I'm going to go to the gym and really put it in. Now that's not recommended because a lot of times, your body needs to replenish after you do heavy weights and stuff like that. Deontay Wilder versus Chisora. Who you got? I'm gonna do the breakdown because I'm not really sure. I want to see some footage, some recent footage on both guys. Because just based off what we seen last, you got to go with Derek. Based on what we seen in their last performance, Derek Chisora beats Deontay Wilder. Just based on their last performances. Be careful, King Kurt. The Fantastic Four of eating could be watching from their burner accounts, and it'll send them straight to dinner table. Yeah, man. Ask Skip 9304. Like fasting, you get to point where you forgot you are hungry. 20 hours fast are good from time to time. Yeah, man. I had no pains, no issues, no none of that. I had no issues, no problems, no headaches. Because I normally take these BCs, right? This is my, wait a minute. Yeah. This is my drug of choice, BCs. Everybody think it's Coke. Like, this ain't Coke, fool. But this is the extra strength kind. And I use these because I'll have like these tension pains back here. And I'll use these. I don't know why I took it out actually. But, yeah. But no, I didn't need any of that. Kurt, I always wanted to see Zilly Zhang versus Mark McCauley. Me too. Africa versus China is dope. Two big dudes like that, 600 pounds in the ring. That's 600 pounds. 600 pounds in the ring at one time, throwing punch to punch. You know what I mean? That's a good fight too. Zilly Zhang and bro. And it's crazy. If Zilly could catch him, we could probably knock him out. We had that discussion. We talked about Zilly Zhang's power. It's on some different level stuff, bro. It's on some different level stuff. BC works, but tastes terrible. Not these. King Mike Hall. Hold on, bro. Let me put you on game. Hold on, bro. This is the lemonade flavor. Look at that. Lemonade flavor. Take it with a Sprite. It'll go right to your system. And you can't find them everywhere. That's extra strength. You'll find the blue, the green, and then, you might see Goody. But then these, you got to look. King Mike Hall, you got to go to like Brookshire's. Go to Brookshire's or like HEB. If you got an HEB, I don't know where you live, King. Where you live? Let me find out. Yeah, bro. Huh? I don't have the box. Hold on. Let me find the box so I can show you the box. Because you got to know what you're looking for. It's in a silver-like box. BC Powder Extra Strength. I'm a BC head. We're talking about BC Powder. This is it right here. This is it, guys. Check this out. This is it. This is what it looks like. Yep. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Right. Yep. BC Powder, maximum strength, man. Goes hard. Looking well, Kurt. What did you think of the fight? Was Ryan really that good, or was Barrios really that bad? I think I think Barrios was gun shy. I don't know what was wrong with him. You can't give Ryan too much credit because if he showed that type of power with his right hand in the fight, why couldn't he finish the fight? You did all this in the first round and you went 12 rounds with a guy you knocked down like that? That's no different than Devin Haney and Brian Norman. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of these gun shy, save fights. Nah. Because I've seen better. In my day, bro, the De La Hoya era, the Trinidad era, the Sugar Shane Mosley era, Vernon Forrest, Ike Corte, Winky Wright. Now, Winky Wright was probably one of the guys that, you you had to respect his boxing prowess because he's not knocking people out. He's going to punish you for like 12 rounds, but he's not going to knock you out. And he was a problematic fighter, and people did not want to fight that man. De La Hoya didn't fight him, and I think by the time Fernando Vargas fought him, and I think he beat Fernando. I think he beat Fernando Vargas. Ain't no DMV except that place we get driver's license. You can start talking about gun-shy safe boxes after years of silence. When Floyd ran away, Ryan was pressing the action at least. Well, he should have stopped Barrios, bro, because Barrios wouldn't fight. You got a guy with all that speed. He definitely has better power at welterweight. But I'll say this about Ryan. Ryan doesn't need to go back to fight Shakur. He doesn't need to meet anyone anywhere. Worry about your own weight class. And he said this about Devin Haney. He said Devin Haney don't want none. So that's the fight to happen at welterweight. As I told you guys, I told everyone, when all these guys fight, they're going to be at welterweight. Didn't I say that years ago? I said the four kings or whatever, they're going to all fight at welterweight. Kurt, your channel problems are gone or not? I mean, it's 44 people on here. I appreciate all 44 or 45 of you guys, but people are not getting these live notifications. Even the people that hit the bell, because I know exactly how many people have the bell notification. Because I have meetings with YouTube, and they do a diagnostic of your channel. There is about 15,000 people that hit the bell icon. The other, I don't know, 70-some thousand don't. Ryan needs to rematch Rolly first. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all, because it's not a warranted fight. Rolly beat Ryan. B. Wayne, boxing. Pray for boxing, huh? But no. Shout out to Andy Ruiz for making a power move. He needed something. And I hope Dana White gets him fights, because Andy needs to fight. They need to take it out the hands of his dad, because his dad ain't getting him fights. Ryan should go for undisputed. It's a weak division. He should. He should unify with Devin Haney. Kurt, do you think American heavyweights can make a comeback? American heavyweight? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The algorithm is the problem, or what? Probably. I don't know. I look at algorithms as AI, bro. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But I mean, it's all good, man. You know. But normally, you know, I remember the channel. Before, it was at least 120 people, 130 people on here normally. You know, but to be fair, I don't do lives. Like I did one yesterday, I did one today, but the last live I did was last weekend, was last Sunday, right? You know, the Zufa boxing card. So I haven't really been live like that, but I will go live. I will dedicate more time to live streams, and because of that, you guys will know when I come on, which will more than likely be Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You know. America needs a national scene like the UK. Well, I got Madison Square Garden. They got Jimmy's World right there in Dallas, Texas. They got a lot of stuff going on. Ryan re Haney would make more sense than Ryan re Rolly for sure. Rematch, yeah. The American scene would probably be better if boxing had better marketing and go out of the pay-per-view model. They're not going to do that because we're Americans, bro. America is the greediest country probably on earth. And they're not going to give up the pay-per-view model. Look what happened to DAZN. DAZN came with a whole introduction. Hey, subscriptions, that's all you need. Pay-per-view screwed. Remember that? And then they came over here and they adopted the pay-per-view model themselves. You know? You're unfortunately right. You know, they start thinking about the money they're missing. Crazy. So, you know, DAZN came over here and lied to everybody. They came over here lying. They came over here lying, man. Like, oh yeah, you know, subscription, and had me pushing it. This is 2018, 19. They pushing DAZN. I'm pushing it with them. Had Showbiz pushing it. We all pushing it. You know, having little DAZN shirts. And these jackasses come around here and throw a pay-per-view price on fights. And kept doing it. I'm like, whoa, what is this about? Isn't there any American national title like the UK have? Nope. It's all about the WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. At the Ring Magazine. Pretty much the Ring Magazine is basically what you're talking about. You know? Ring Magazine is probably the realest, truest belt of honor that you could possibly follow. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. But Andy Ruiz, he needs to fight. You know, he can fight Charles Martin as a tune-up. He can fight Efe Ajagba as a major fight. Because he's going to need a tune-up for Efe because Effie's tall and Efe will throw shots. Now, the thing about Efe, though, you know, be careful with Andy because Effie's kind of slow. So, you know, and Andy's explosive at the right distance. So if he can catch Efe, he could, you know, probably, you know, give him a surprise of a lifetime. Should make the American title just like the British title. They ain't gonna do that. Because, I mean, America don't like boxing like British loves boxing. That's why you have British Commonwealth, you know what I'm saying, and things like that in Great Britain, because people are gonna go to support it. Whereas America, they ain't supporting nothing but the money. The money! You guys should have a national title. That would help find more heavyweights, surely. They're not going to do that. People are going to UFC. But here's the good thing. The UFC guy, Dana White, has made a federation. You're going to see more UFC guys come over to boxing because they're going to see the value in it. Do you guys just understand Conor Benn just signed a contract with Zufa Boxing for $20 million? 20 million, 20 plus million. I just asked Google how much 15 million pounds was the dollars, and they say 20 million, but it was 15.5 or something. Nah, you guys love it more than that. Ain't an argument. Well, people are going to come over in droves now. Once they find out that you think Andy, the minute Andy found out about that Conor Benn, he's 15 million pounds. That's 20 million. Dad, vete. Vámonos. Vámonos, papá. I never heard of those guys. Dami Damazian Valhuter and Surdias Simmons. Okay. Never heard of them. Glad he got paid. Yeah, people are going to find, look, people are broke. You understand people are broke in America? So if Zufa Boxing is hiring, they're coming. It's going to get bigger. Watch. Over the next week, we're going to have more and more people signed, and I'm going to be there to report it, to tell you, I told you. Kurt, how many more years do you think Andy has? About 3 or 4 years left. Because what's going to happen, somebody's going to beat him that's of notice, and then Andy's going to turn into a gatekeeper. That's it. Then he's going to probably fight more because he's going to have to, but he's going to get paid less. And since he's going to get paid less, he has to fight more. You see what I'm saying? So Andy's going to get beat by somebody. I don't know if it's Jared Anderson. I don't know if it's whoever he gets beat by, probably a British guy or something like that. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Dana should get Miller and run the Ruiz rematch. I don't want to see that fight no more. I already know what it's like to see a rhinoceros fight a warthog. I know what that means. They're going to go 10 rounds, and it's going to be the same type of fight. It was reported 15 USD, not pounds. Where did you get that from? How much money did Zufa offer Conor Benn?
Zufa offered Conor Benn a one-fight deal, reportedly worth 15 million US.
Hey, that's 15 million.
The fight is expected to take place in the UK in April or May.
What did I find? It was no, it's like 15.5. I think it was it Talk Sport? I'm not sure, man. But that's 15 million for one fight. 15 million for one fight. You think he ain't gonna take that money? And Eddie's over there crying. Eddie, it's one fight. You didn't cry like that when Canelo left. You didn't cry like that when all them Devin Haney left. You didn't cry about that at all. Which is only a little more than he just got. That's all right. He's getting it again, isn't he? XK Shots, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Everything's good. Enjoying the sunshine, man. Enjoying the sunshine. You know? So, yeah, I'm for it. You know? Nobody can't tell you where to stay. You know what I mean? You got to get paid. You'll be back with Eddie, and then he'll call Eddie once he fights on Zufa Boxing. He'll get that 15 million. You know what I'm saying? And he'll be good. He'll be good. You know, after all, they are the ones take the punches in the ring, not the promoters. The promoters sitting back watching it. Come on! You know. I am Panties. Salute. Counterpunch to you. Counterpunch to I am Panties in the building. It's a hell of a name. Hell of a name. But no, man. Ryan Garcia, I don't think he did what he could, but he did enough to win. Mario Barrios, he was like he was holding back. It was a boring fight. I'm glad I didn't spend $75 for that, people. I'm glad. I'm relieved. If I'd have spent $75, I'd have felt like a sucker. I'd have felt like a sucker. So I'm glad I didn't get it. And you guys know I love boxing. I love to support boxing. But some things you just got to say no. Sometimes you just have to say no. Right? Zufa is raising the stakes. Yeah, they're raising the stakes. And $15 million a fight is a lot better than the thing that they had, right? So there you go. Nothing wrong with Zufa Boxing. Nothing wrong with it. Dude, it's crazy. It's not it's not a cloud in the sky. Dude, there's not a cloud in the sky, dude. Look at that. Crazy. Zufa should get boots in Ortiz. That'd be dope. But Oscar ain't going for that. Oscar's mad. Eddie's mad. Them dudes are mad. I think Mauricio's mad too. John Fury is back. Fighting men. Sounds windy out there, Kurt. It is windy. It's a windy day, man. It is a windy day. You know? It is a windy day, peeps. But it is what it is. I got to get back to work, guys. Got to do some more videos for you guys. So thank you for the support once again. We're gonna do a lot more lives, so don't worry. I think Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You know, I was thinking about doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. What do you guys like? Mondays and Tuesdays? I'm going to ask a poll on my community. And Zufa is an LLC. I'm surprised you guys seem to be behind Zufa. PBC already tried that dish. That's all right. You know? And they tried the free TV, and they turned into a scam, a money grubbing scam. My favorite YouTuber, BVO Sports TV. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you, man. Appreciate you. But no, man, I had fun breaking it down. Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. Ryan Garcia is a welterweight champion. Devin Haney is a welterweight champion. Those guys should unify. Why not for the rematch? Make sure they're clean, right? Make sure there's no juice involved, and let that juice go, and let the fight get it on. So, Andy Ruiz joined Zufa. I can't wait to see what he got. That's my thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what Andy was offered. Because you know they offered him, if they offered him 10, 15 million, I'll fight. I need the money. Please. Turkey Al-Sheikh should bring back HBO. That'd be dope. Bring back Larry Merchant. I want to see Jim Lampley, though. I think Jim Lampley's a cool guy. But, man, I'm going to jump off of here. I got to go back to work on some videos. God bless you guys. Have a great Sunday. Until then, everyone has been Counterpunch. Stay tuned. Like, please, share. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.